Well, unfortunately, I wake up every day and my body is stiff and crunchy. When they see me at the gym training, it's like, because I do like to do my workouts sometimes at the end of the day, because when I wake up, I tell you, man, I'm in a lot of pain every day. I've got herniated disc in my neck. I got a lot of, overuse injuries from marathon running, pounding my body against the pavement for hours on end, 60, 80, hundreds of miles per week. And then, of course, with all the bodybuilding training, I was crushing my joints, crushing my shoulders, and then just all the other crazy stuff that I've done. So what I typically like to do, and I recommend this for most people that have never started a flexibility program, I like to lay flat on the ground, try to elongate the spine, and I just do kind of a series of sort of ground calisthenics, and I'll show you kind of what I do right now. All right, I want everybody to save this video for the next time you wake up feeling crunchy and crickety like you're a 90-year-old man. First thing I like to do for spine issues is try to lay completely horizontally flat on the ground, and then I usually will do maybe 10 of these. Again, what we're trying to do is stretch out the spine, elongate the spine, activate the core. So if I'll do, let's say, 10 of those, then I'll immediately go up into like a seated jackknife. So you then would want to maybe repeat that sequence, I would say 2 to 3 times. So same thing over again. You could put your hands out to the front. I sometimes like to do this. I'll use my FlexMaster trainer at times. I'll hold it. I'll use 2 FlexMasters in one hand to keep that tight. So then now when you keep your hands out, you could do that holding a dumbbell. It gives you a little bit more. So now you're getting to the point where you're sitting on your tailbone, so you're getting a little bit more. So already I'm able to go down and touch my toes. When you're from Cleveland, the wife beater is like an essential piece of garb. So like a lot of people say, man, why are you always wearing a wife beater? I don't know. Like you watch the mob movies, I'm a third Italian. Like in The Godfather, they all wore wife beaters. So as a kid, I always had a wife beater on. So it's kind of like my second skin, I just found out that you can no longer say wife beater. It's got to be a wife lover. But honestly, I really don't like that phrase. I'm going to have to come up with another coin phrase for what this, the white skin fitting tank top is. But so once you got your spine elongated, what you can do is, now keep it in mind, I'm not that flexible right now, but everything is about keeping the body fully in line like a plumb line. And so then if I'm sitting like this, I'll pull my other leg back up, bring this leg back. So this is kind of a way you could learn to do the splits. I sort of taught myself to do this over the course of time. And then bringing your leg back. This is just a basic hip stretch. I like to do a lot of ballistic stretching. I like to bounce a little bit. It just kind of feels a little bit better that way, a little bit more of a dynamic stretch, back and forth. Then after I do that hip stretch, this is really important because when you're sitting a lot throughout the day at a desk, or if you're in a car, planes, I'll do this before I get on a plane, after I get on a plane, when I'm leaving a meeting. And then you want to kind of be able to stretch back and feel that little bit of like a click in the spine, pulling this here, pulling your one leg up against your other. Same thing, stretch back. And then another move, hands totally overhead, up like this. And then you'll come into a seated movement here. Now, I typically like to take my shoes off when I'm doing this, and I vary my footwear all the time. I wear almost every type of shoe for different purposes. So today, I didn't actually have the shoes that I would normally wear when I'm doing my stretches, but I do have some shoes that are specifically that I wear that are kind of like a Vibram shoe. And I usually like to do this if I'm kind of maybe away from people, because it looks a little weird, but it actually feels really good. So aside from this, groin butterfly stretch, I'll then come out over from the side. This is kind of like a Pilates move. So you're getting full body tension. And if you notice, I'm resting totally on my tailbone. So then from here, I'm keeping constant tension. I'm pulling my hamstrings back. So I'm feeling a stretch in my hams, a stretch in my arms, and then I may come out and come back into that move. So this takes a little bit of balance where you're going to be coming in from here. So now I'm getting a little bit of stretch in the back of my tricep and in the back of my shoulder. And then I come up here. And then if you rotate your hands to the out of the foot, now coming in this way, I'll roll my shoulder. Everybody that I know over 35 that's been benching for years has bad shoulders. So this is kind of a way, if you don't got a training partner that can help you stretch out, you can actually, once you learn how to balance yourself to do this stretch, this actually feels really good. And then you come down and grab just your toes and you pull out, keeping your head up. I had to actually really learn this sequence when I had the herniated disc in my neck, because this is the only thing I was able to do to be able to heal my neck. Then coming back in, this is where, again, the Flex Master helps, because when you're able to lock fully out, you're getting full tension all throughout the body. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to get the tension going from the tips of your toes to your fingers. And that's the whole objective of doing these stretches. And then if I come in like this looks kind of like a funky stretch, but when you put your legs up here and your hands go around your feet, now I'm actually getting a stretch here in the shoulder. So I'll reset this. So as I'm sitting here, it's actually inducing a really serious stretch in both rear delts and in my shoulders. And I'll just hold it for 15, 20 seconds. And this is just like a meditative state. Sometimes I'll sit here for maybe 3 to 5 minutes. And when I'm done, it's like serious neurological activation. And then I'll come back in. And as I twist my knees inward, I'm keeping tension on my arms. So I'm almost pushing in with the inner part of my knee while I'm pushing out with my elbows. And so that's also putting like a constant stretch like this. So it's getting that whole body tight. So now I'm coming back down. We got Jake Harder over here. And then I can actually feel, once I get to a point where I don't feel the clicking in my spine, remember, you're waking up, you're crickety, and you feel like shit. So once my spine feels good, then I'll come here, stand like this, cross one leg over the other, get this IT band stretch here, stand up, and I'll do this obviously a little bit longer, but for the sake of time right now. And then the big move is to balance here. So you got a quad stretch, balancing yourself, and then bringing this leg up. I'm pulling on my hamstring right now, putting my leg down almost as if I was doing a pistol squat. And then I try to rotate this leg in like this. So now all this is staying really tight. And you got to balance yourself. And it's kind of like poor man's yoga. You know, I don't really have the patience to go sit in a yoga class. So I've kind of just have taken some different exercises and some different movements and kind of invented this series of stretches. So this is kind of like my Joe Pavlik warm-up sequence that I do before every workout. And my balance is a little bit off today because I've been traveling. But right here, man, it's like you feel this in the hips. Squeezing the biceps. Come around both sides like this. And that's it. I'm a little wobbly today, but if you catch me on a good day, when I stay consistent, after 2 to 3 days of doing this regularly, I could do it like a machine. But that's kind of just a really quick sequence of what you can do 5 minutes before a workout if you're feeling crickety and like the Tin Man.